So excuse my face, I'm having a no makeup day because I'm about to go work out front in the garden, but I'm going to start my red beans and rice. There's many different ways you can make red beans and rice, but I'm gonna make mine in the crock pot today. Well, I'm actually soaking them today, but I'm not gonna turn it on until tomorrow. The very first thing I always do with my crock pot is I put in just a little bit of oil and then rub it around because it keeps things from sticking. If you just washed your hands, obviously you can use your fingers, but I don't feel like getting it on my fingers right now. So I'm just using a paper towel. Now I'm gonna use the beans that I have. It's just red kidney beans. I need 2 hands to pour them in. Okay, I poured them in, and now I'm going to cover them with water. And then I usually make sure there's about 1 inch of water above the beans too, and that's usually enough water. You can measure them. I usually don't, and they come out just fine. I guess you could say I'm not exactly a precise chef, but this is how I've always done them, and they've always come out just fine. So it's hard to tell from the video, but I did put enough water to cover the beans plus about 1 inch on top of them. And you can play around with this because obviously the more water you put, the more runny they'll be, less water, more thick, and it's all based on taste and what you prefer. Normally I will try to get them starting to soak anywhere between 9 and 12 the day before we're going to eat them, so that they have about 24 hours to soak and then 8 hours to cook the following day. Alright, so now that the water's in there, I'm going to add a little salt, pepper, and Tony saccharies. Here, my salt and pepper, and my Tony's. Any Cajun spice or Creole spice will do, whatever you prefer. And with the water, not too much because I'm gonna add some more tomorrow when they're actually cooking. A little bit. Gonna mix up those seasonings. And that's it for today. I'm not gonna do anything else until tomorrow. Okay, so it's the next morning, and as you see, the beans have soaked up a lot of the water, but I don't need to add any more. I think there's still plenty, so I'm just gonna stir it around because it looks like a lot of the seasoning was just sitting at the top. The top back on. And I'm gonna turn it on low and just cook it on low all day today. That's all I'm going to do to it for right now. The kids and I are about to go on a long walk and then just go about our day. Later on today, about 30 minutes before I serve it, I'm going to kind of saute some onion, some celery, a bell pepper, and some sausage, and throw that in and then let it all cook together for like another 30 minutes. If you wanted to, if it's a day you're working, you could chop it all up, not cook it, and just throw it in with the red beans and let it cook in there all day. That way when you get home, all you have to do is make rice. But I like the way it tastes when you saute it in a little oil and then combine it. So since I'm home, that's what I'm gonna do. I know some people will rinse their beans before they put them in to soak. Some people will soak them overnight and then drain them and rinse them and put them back. If I was making them on the stove and putting more work into them, I probably would do that. But I wanted to keep this a quick and easy recipe, so I didn't do that. And I usually don't when I cook them in the crock pot. I literally just soak them overnight, 24 hours if possible, and then stir them up a little bit and turn them on. So we're gonna go about our day. Like I said, I think we're about to go on a long walk. You guys wanna go on a walk? And I'm not going to do anything else until tonight. So my beans have been cooking for about 5 hours, almost 5 hours. I stirred them and added a little bit more of my Tony saccharies, which is my Cajun seasoning, and a dash of salt and a little more pepper. And I'm just giving them a stir, and then I will check on them in about another hour. Now, like I said before, you could chop up all of this ahead of time and throw it in with the red beans before you walk out the door in the morning. But since I'm home, I'm about to chop it up and saute it and then add it in with the beans. So I'm gonna cut up our trinity, which is some celery. I'm doing 2 long stalks, a green bell pepper, and an onion, and then I'm also going to chop up some garlic. My kids are playing right next to me, so it might be a little loud. But I just put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in my pan on a medium to medium high heat, and I'm letting that heat up while I chop up all my veggies. I washed my celery and my bell pepper, and now I'm gonna get started chopping while my oil and my pan heat up. In case you haven't watched my channel before, we live in Louisiana, just outside New Orleans. So red beans and rice is a meal that we make quite often. People around here often eat red beans on Monday nights, and it does happen to be Monday night. Sometimes I cook it on other nights, but it's kind of custom to eat it on Monday night. A little random fact for you, just in case you don't know, it actually is because back in the 19th century, Mondays were laundry days, and of course there were no washers or dryers back then. So the women would spend the entire day doing laundry because it had to be done, you know, by hand and hung up, and it literally took the entire day. So dinner had to be something that didn't take a lot of time and was pretty easy to make, so that they could put all of their focus and attention into the laundry and not dinner. So since red beans are pretty easy to cook, not very time consuming, they were able to, you know, kind of just set it up and leave it on the stove. It's a perfect dinner to make on laundry day. And they would sometimes put Sunday dinners ham bone in the beans for extra flavor. So a lot of people still do that. I know we do that sometimes if we happen to have a ham bone, but that modern day turned into sausage. Most people put andouille sausage in their red beans, which is what we're doing tonight. But if you've never tried putting a ham bone in your red beans, you should, because it's actually really good. All right, I got everything chopped up and in the pan. I'm gonna saute it for probably about 5 minutes. Just to review, it's onion, celery, bell pepper, and then I also use garlic. It's one small or medium onion. I prefer yellow, so that's what I used. And my onion was very large, so I only put half. But normally I get like a smaller medium onion and put the whole thing. And 2 large celery stalks chopped up. If you're using celery hearts, I would probably use 3, maybe even 4. I just got a bunch of celery, so they're pretty long, so I put 2. Then 1 green bell pepper chopped up. And I did 4 large cloves of garlic chopped up. More or less, depending on your taste. Exactly how we like our beans, just kind of liquidy. But the beans are thoroughly cooked and extremely soft and mushy. I'm gonna stir that all in. And one thing I forgot to mention is that if you're not from around here and you don't have a Cajun or Creole seasoning in your spice cabinet, you could use a combination of salt, pepper, red pepper, chili powder, garlic powder, and cayenne. Just forgot. I'm gonna add in 2 bay leaves as well. My beans have about 30 minutes left, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my andouille sausage and get it sauteing in my pan. And I have my rice going in the back. I'll show you the rice that I use. Organic long grain white rice, but you can use any rice that you like, whatever you prefer. Brown rice, white rice, jasmine rice, long grain rice, whatever kind of rice you like. Typically, I either do jasmine or this long grain rice, because that's what we like. Or occasionally I'll do brown rice. Cornbread with red beans and rice is a must. The trick is trying to limit myself to 1 piece because it's so good. I don't usually make cornbread from scratch, so I just use a box mix. I picked up one from Whole Foods, but a lot of times we also have the Jiffy cornbread mix in the pantry and we'll use that. But homemade cornbread is really good, so maybe I should start making it more often because it's delicious. It's just more time consuming. I washed the rest of the celery and cut it up into snack-sized pieces, so we have a healthy snack for the week. Sausage is finished sauteing, so I just dumped it in my red beans, and I'm gonna stir that in. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. All right, I'm just gonna let that sit. I'm gonna switch it down to warm because technically the beans are done. So I'm just gonna keep it warm and let the beans soak in that, I don't know, what do you call it? Sausage juice, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. Soak in the flavor for about 15 minutes and then we're gonna eat. And that's it, it's done. I went easy on the rice for myself because I know I'm gonna eat a piece of cornbread. And I didn't wanna have too many carbs, but I can't wait to eat it. It looks delicious. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy your red beans and rice and everybody has a good Monday or any other day, whatever day you're cooking this. And If you're new and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.